Woohoo! All right, you guys, I am excited for tonight's training. I feel like these series that we're been putting on have been really great for you guys to all take every tip that people share and apply it. So I'm excited. I'm seeing things growing. You guys are doing the things, and so we're just going to keep giving you these top tips of how to grow on social and where you're what you're going to do. So Jess is I want to say, oh, she's been always like this. But first, I'll tell you a little bit. I'm Stephanie Dunn. This is Joel Dunn. He's going to give our quick version of our
Quick
story.
version, food lines. It works. Lots of money. The end.
Wow, that was really fast. Is that it?
Is it
No,
you
go.
wanted more of that? So here's the thing, guys. We were failing at everything because of the economic collapse. Our businesses were being taken away. We were filing for bankruptcy. We were foreclosing on properties, standing in food lines just so that we had enough money left over to pay our house payment so we wouldn't lose our house. And that's when God dropped It Works into our laps because we were hard workers. It wasn't that we weren't hard workers, we just had the wrong vehicle. So if that's you, if you're a hard worker and you're just making ends meet, understand you are probably in the wrong vehicle. And this vehicle is the one for hard workers to go out and do things to change their reality. And that's exactly what we did. We were able to take everything and become what we are today, which is multimillionaires through this business, through helping others use this business to create wealth. And that's why we're excited to jump on and share how to do
I,
that
I,
with Jessica today.
yeah, I love this. I loaded her with a bunch of questions. I was like, it's okay, we'll get through them all. But because you guys all shoot me over like questions of like ask this, like give me all the details, like she's got to be doing something special. So anytime we ever have a guest on, it's always like they got to be doing something special. They're probably working, you guys. Like I notice it's consistency with a lot of these guys, and I think it's funny because people see the now of Jessica, they see the now of us and think it just happened. And what I
Jessica was an
love
overnight success.
what I love is, each week when they come on and share their story. So I love Jess. One of the reasons she's always willing to jump in. Rarely does she say no, or she'll be like, I can't tonight, but I could next week. So that's just Jess. She knows there's plenty of gold to go around, and she's always willing to help. But just share your story because I think that's it. People look at you and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so successful now, and it'll kind of go into some of the questions that I have for you. So share a little bit about who you are and your story.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Jess Satterley. I'm a presidential diamond. I was not an overnight success. In fact, it took a really long time, and I'll get into that in a second. But I said yes to this opportunity. I was 22 years old. I had just graduated from college. I did all the things right. Like the world tells us, go to college, get good grades, get a degree, get your job, you get your white picket fence. And so I did all of those things, got my job, and I did not have my white picket fence. In fact, I'll never forget getting my first paycheck from my 9 to 5. I was a full-time geologist, so it wasn't like just some like, low-end 9 to 5. Like I spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of years on getting this degree. And I remember getting my first paycheck and I was like, what is this? Like I am living in my parents' basement. I had just moved back from college and I wanted to move out really bad. And I got my first paycheck and I was like, oh no, this is not going to do it. Maybe it's just because it's the first paycheck. Got the second paycheck and I was like, oh crap, like we're in trouble because the second paycheck is the exact same. And so I knew from the very beginning, like, this just wasn't going to be enough. This wasn't going to cut what little bills I did have at the time living in my parents' basement. I was barely able to cover those. And so that's not where my journey with It Work started. I actually picked up a second full-time job. So I was a full-time geologist, but I was also a full-time softball coach and giving lessons at my local high school. And so from 6 a.m. to like 4 or 5 p.m., I had my hard hat on. I was a geologist. And then after I got off work, I immediately drove to the high school. And that's where I was giving lessons or coaching the high school team from about 6 p.m. until 9 or 10 p.m. every single night and Saturdays and Sundays. And so my plate was full, but my bank account was still empty. And I was so desperate to just make an extra income that I was like Googling ways to make an income from my phone. Like I didn't know about It Works. I didn't know about network marketing. I didn't know you could make money from your phone. But about that same time that I was like getting so desperate, I got a DM on Instagram from a girl asking if I was interested in her products. I'm like, screw your products, can't even afford those. But what I did was I immediately went to her Instagram because I'm like, who is this girl messaging me? Like I never accepted people into like my Instagram or my network. Like I was very private. And I'm like, how is this girl my friend? Who is she? Did I go to high school with her? So I was creeping on her. I saw her story. She said she was making an income from her phone. And I was like, say less, sign me up. And so I literally joined immediately. This was in December 8th, actually. It was the day that I joined. And I remember that part of the reason that I joined was because I had just been told that I was going to have to work on Christmas Eve. And my family and my husband, my now husband's family, we always have like big Christmas Eve parties. And we have like a ton of family in our hometown in Kentucky where we're both from. And I was going to have to miss like basically half of our Christmases because I was going to have to work on Christmas Eve. And I was like, something's got to give. So I joined immediately. I didn't know anything about the products. I didn't know anything about It Works. Like the only thing that I was excited about was back then we had a shopping spree, and all I wanted was the shopping spree. Obviously, an extra income, but I was excited for the shopping spree. So I joined immediately. And that's not where my success started. In fact, it actually took me a month and a half to get my first customer and like 2 months to get my first distributor. But funny enough, I signed my very first distributor at my very first event, which was conference. So I joined the opportunity. I was so hungry for success. I remember hopping on Zooms just like this. Actually, there was one like Zoom that Steph was speaking on that like spoke to my soul. But there were so many people. This was the end of the year, you know, going into the new year of 2019. And everyone was talking about conference. Like, you want your life to change, you want your business to change, go to conference. So I was like, okay, I put it on a credit card. I couldn't afford it. I like paid for everything, my flight, my conference ticket, my hotel, all the things. And I just got there. I had never met anyone on my team in person. I'd seen them on Zooms a few times, but I went. And I was already fired up before I joined the business, wanting to make a full-time income, but I left and I'm like, I'm freaking doing it. And so I signed my very first distributor at that conference. I came home in February, went Ruby. In March, I went Emerald. And then there was like a waiting period. I didn't have instant success all the way to Diamond that very next month. And so I ended up going Diamond the very next January at conference. But I'm going to back it up a little bit because as an Emerald, I was able to scale my income, take advantage of weekly bonuses, and replace my income as a geologist. So I left that job about 6 or 7 months into my business. So I was just doing It Works, and then contractually, I was in a contract with the high school. So I had to stay at that job. But I ended up going Diamond in January of the next year, so January of 2020. And this was actually before COVID even happened. So I went Diamond in January, and then in April I went Double. And right when I went Double was right when the world was like literally shutting down. And I was out of my contract with the high school, and I just went Double, took, you know, TJ, my husband's account, Diamond, and we picked up and moved out of my parents' basement all the way to Florida where we live today. We're soon to be neighbors. But I went triple 3 years and 1 day after the day that I went double. And then 2 years later, we went presidential this past year. And since we've been in Florida, we've been able to do so many things. I'm going to take it back to the month that we moved to Florida. We also paid off all of our student loans, all of our car loans. We moved to Florida debt free at 23 years old, which was like a huge, like, what in the world? Like, there was no way that I was going to be able to do this with my 9 to 5 and my extra full-time job and my husband working his full-time job too. We would have never been able to do that. We built our first home. We bought one of our dream cars in cash. We've since upgraded since then, but we bought one of our dream cars in cash. We've been able to give back to our church, build a savings, spend time with our family, give back to our family, travel the world. So many incredible things that I thought only lucky people got, I was able to build through this opportunity. So that's my story as fast as I could share it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. You gave me a little bit more. I think you hear something different whenever we're around talking, and I just heard something different, which you guys, I want you to hear what I heard. She sat at Emerald and she got out of her 9 to 5 job because of weekly bonuses and her Emerald check. So that right there, never heard anybody say that, but take advantage of what do you want to create weekly. So I know some of these questions coming up are going to kind of go into that, but I think people sometimes count themselves out like, oh gosh, diamond's so far away or double's so far away or whatever that is. But really write down what income do you want? And then can you break it down into weekly of here's your monthly and then here's the weekly of what you want. And it might be your part-time or a car payment or maybe it is you're replacing your job. What does that look like? Because I haven't heard you say that before. And maybe you have, but I heard it a little different. And then double diamond you sat at for what, 3 years
Three
and a month?
years in one day. 3 years
One
in
day.
one day. Yep.
So I know this because I sat at double for a year and I was like rolling what I thought in money. I was like, this is so much. I'd never seen that much in a month. And so I know the power of getting to diamond and double and what that can do. And sometimes it's comfortable staying there, but you have a light bulb moment of like, I want other people to feel that. That's what happened for me at doubles. I want my team to feel that moment. And some may just hang out at Emerald and, be there for a while too. But these are pivotal points of you don't need to be all the way to the top to make an incredible income, you guys. And so I think sometimes of course, we want to push for rank, but take that away. And what do you want to make? Because you can make that with the ranks that we have at Emerald, Diamond, even Ruby, what you can make. So I love that because that was one of the questions was how long did it take? Because again, people see, oh, instant success, which is 3 years to instant success to, a triple diamond. So the question for a lot of people is, again, they think, were you great at social media? Or was it because you started kind of following brands, or maybe it was it works people? What was it for you that, kind of clicked for social?
This is the moment that she followed my profile.
It was the moment I followed Joel. In the moment he followed me back, I was fired up. So, no, I was actually terrible at social media when I joined. I didn't have a Facebook. TikTok didn't exist at the time. All I had was Instagram. I had 200 followers. I didn't even know how to post an Instagram story when I first started, but I was so desperate and hungry, desperate for money, hungry for success that I was willing to learn. And I'll never forget hopping on Zooms, and I remember Cassie saying something about copying the right cat. And so what I did was I found other leaders in It Works, and I put on their post notifications. So every time they posted, I was notified, and I started to learn and like recreate and copy the things that they were doing until I was good enough at it that I could make it my own. But in the beginning of my business, I was just copying people, and that was the way that I was learning by just kind of like doing it. I think about it like riding a bike. Like, I'm not going to just look at my bike and learn how to ride it. I have to ride it. I have to fall off. I have to, go sideways. I have to go in the grass. I have to learn and get stronger and get better, more coordinated in order to be good at it and take my training wheels off. And so that's kind of what I did when it came to social media and even Facebook. Like, I didn't have Facebook when I started. And so that was something that was kind of like unknown on our team. I remember like the leaders that I had at the time who are no longer in the business. But I remember like begging them, like, how do I work Facebook? How can I do this? And they just didn't have the answers for it. And so I outsourced. I would get on Zooms. I would go through the corporate page. Like, I would look at people who were on Facebook killing it. I remember Joel and Steph, you still have it, the It Works Skinny Wrap team, like that page that you have. I remember following it. I'm like, okay, these posts are doing good for them. I'm going to do posts like that too. And I just learned and I got better with it. And the same thing goes for TikTok. But no, I was not good at social media before. In fact, I was a little bit scared of it, I would say, because I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at like taking pictures. I wasn't good at editing. I wasn't good at videos because TikTok didn't even exist at the time. I wasn't good at any of it, but I was willing to learn because I wanted to be successful that bad that I'm not going to sit on the bench and watch all these other people be good at it. I'm going to get into it. And if I fall, if I trip, if I mess up, oh well, like I'm just going to learn from it and I'm not going to do it again. And I'm going to be better because of it.
So you guys, here's the thing. All of you, some of you may be brand new and you count yourself out within your first post. Like nobody commented or liked on it. Like we beat ourselves up so bad, but consistency is so important in this business because it takes 7 to 10 times for people to even see our stuff to go, okay, I'm ready to either reach out or you followed up that many times, like for them to start engaging. So, she's saying some things that are huge clues on a lot of this. She didn't have the social media. So maybe you're like, I'm ready to grow that network. I'm ready to grow on that and be committed, doing daily, getting on the Zooms. I know a lot of you always do, but making no excuses of what priorities are that are going to look like. And if your post isn't that great, don't worry about it. You did it. And then you can continue to get better. So I'm brand new, Jess, and I saw you, watched you on Instagram and TikTok, and I might not have that Instagram or TikTok going yet, but I want to make 500 to $1,000. What would you have me focus on?
When it comes to my new girls, honestly, you guys, it's the fast launch program. Focusing on that when it comes to our comp plan. And really right now, video content is so big on Facebook Reels, on TikTok, on Instagram Reels. Video content is so, I'm like, I wish that we would have had that when I first started, and I'm sure in a few years there's going to be something that I'm going to say, I wish we would have had that, on August 18th in 2025. But taking advantage of what's working, like when it comes to social media, TikTok obviously is all videos, but Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, they've already come out, like their CEO has come out and said that they push like video content reels out to people who don't follow you. Put a one in the chat if you want more people seeing your stuff, more Facebook friends, more Facebook followers, more Instagram followers, more people seeing you. You're going to get that organically through video content. And so doing that, being consistent with that, I'm not saying it's going to blow up overnight, but if you get 500 views, imagine 500 people walking to wherever you are right now, looking at what you have. Even if they walk away, they still got it. They still got a picture of it. That seed was still planted. And so I'd say take advantage of like video content. Even if you're not good at it, neither was I. But I learned and I showed up and I kept doing it. But also taking advantage of our fast launch program. This was the exact same program that I had in the beginning of my business. Like when I was able to use my Emerald check and weekly bonuses to replace my 9 to 5 income, it was through what we now call our fast launch program. It was fast start back then, but I used that. And so bringing in new distributors, teaching them to sign their 2 customers, or if I have to move 2 customers under them, it's still $100 freaking bucks. You do that 10 times in a month, there's $1,000. Or let's say you're newer, you're going a little bit slower, totally fine. You do that 5 times in a month, that's $500. And I guarantee if you do that 5 times, you're going to be Ruby. Like you're going to be Ruby. And then there's an extra, $100 bonus for or executive, and then $250 bonus for Ruby. Like your commissions is going to be higher. Your weekly bonuses are going to be higher. Like you can make a really like a part-time income in your first month simply from getting 5 fast launch bonuses and going Ruby. And that's like totally possible, but I think it comes down to believing that you can, because why not? Like I just posted a video about this recently about why don't we get back into a heart posture of expecting God's best in every situation and circumstance. I think a lot of times when we join the business, we're just fearful, so we don't expect his best, but he brought you here for a reason. So if I can do it, if Joel and Steph can do it, if anyone in the company can do it, why can't you do it once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times? So I think really focusing on those weekly bonuses and growing yourself to Ruby, and then teaching your girls, okay, we're going to focus on these weekly bonuses and growing yourself to Ruby. Okay, well, you do that with 2 girls, you're Emerald, and then you help your Emerald do that for her girls. Okay, well, then you just went Diamond, and it's kind of just a stair stepper, but really to break it down and make it super simple, focus on those 2-in-1s, bringing in a distributor, signing 2 customers, either moving them or teaching her how to enroll them, and just really scaling your paycheck and increasing your paycheck through that weekly pay and $100 bonuses.
I think that's important too, you guys. Like for me, I need a goal. A lot of people need a goal. If they don't have it written down, whether it's $100 a week, $100 a month, if you don't have it, you're not going to hit it because you don't know what it is. So that's great. Somebody new coming in might not even really know or be scared to put something out. So I'll always say, hey, I'm excited to help you go after your first 100, 300 to 500 over the next 30 to 60 days. How does that sound? So you're prepping them without them freaking out and not even really going, oh, I don't even know what I want. Because people may not really want to put out what they want quite yet. And so if we know that, then the next thing is okay, She said videos. So are you having them go live? Are you giving them a video to do or an example and having them recreate? Kind of walk me through that because it is videos. That is what's getting seen. You can still do posts, you guys, and stories in between. Videos are going to get pushed out. Like she said, if she got somebody in their inbox messaging her, she's going to go look at what they're about. So really make sure, do they know what you're about? But videos, what would you have me go do if I didn't know?
Yeah, so I make everything on TikTok, and then as soon as I post it on TikTok, it automatically saves to my camera roll. I turn around and post it to my Instagram reels and my Facebook reels. So the way that I do it is if it's about the business, all I have to do is have like a video of myself. I could literally be lip syncing to my favorite song or a video of myself like walking down the street, and I can put the wording on it. You can go to my page. Really, a lot of like our leaders, we use the same wording kind of like over and over again. It's repetitive to us, but I could post a video today and it have, XYZ wording, where it's like, where are my girls who are living paycheck to paycheck, like can't afford to put gas in your car? I'm looking for ambassadors, weekly bonuses, free trip opportunity, basically a little excerpt like that. I could post that today and then turn around and post the exact same tomorrow. They both may get 5,000 views, but I can guarantee those 5,000 people are probably different people each time that I post it. So it may be repetitive to me, but it's not repetitive to the people who are seeing my content. And honestly, repetition is good. It's kind of like visual follow-ups, exposure therapy for people. I'm kind of a numbers nerd, and I know that people need to see something 7 to 12 times before it registers that like, oh, I need an extra income. They could have seen, 5 of your other videos or posts or stories, and on that like 7th, 8th, 12th one, they're like, oh, I need an extra income, even though they've already seen it. And so really being consistent with it. When it comes to the product reels, I do kind of like I guess a hook in the beginning where it's like, watch me lose 25 pounds in, 4 months with no harsh diet or exercise. And then I have my before and afters with like a catchy sound. And I get so many people from that just sharing my results, which I know that we're going to talk about here soon. But before I had my own results, I would share other people's results. So if you have someone on your team or your downline or your leader or a friend or a sideline that has great results, ask them for a picture of it or a video of it, and share that to your video. I've had like mega viral reels and TikToks where I'm sharing other people's results as well as my own, but sometimes just other people's results, and they go mega viral, and I'm able to reach a ton of people. But then I have some that don't reach a ton of people, and I'm still able to get customers from it because it doesn't have to go viral for you to get customers or distributors. And in between that, just kind of posting like I would like kind of like life posts, but in video content form. So what is it that you're seeing in videos that maybe you like or you relate to? Making that your own, and maybe like a different video or a little bit of a different wording to it. Like if you see a video of some girl, if you're a mom and she's like, posting, I don't know, making pancakes for her kids and you loved it, make that your own, because if you loved it and you remake it, you're going to attract people who are like you. And then we're all nosy. Every time you see something that you like, what do? We go to people's pages. Oh, what is this girl about? Oh, she lost 30 pounds. Oh, she's posting about people losing weight. Well, I'm postpartum. I want to lose weight too. I really liked who she was. Now she has these really awesome products. You're already gaining trust. So that's the way that I do it. Like I said, it's super repetitive. Like my product and business, like real video content, it's basically all the same. It hasn't changed in years. Every once in a while, I'll change it up just slightly, or it'll evolve into something different, but it's been the same for years. And then in between, I post just normal stuff, and things that I relate to. And that's what's been working for our team for years now.
I mean, I know you're pretty like, I know your day. Like, I know you're an early bird, you're out in the morning because it's too hot in the summer in Florida. You always have your coffee. They swear by the gut health. What are you passionate about? What is something that you can take daily and show? And so I know exactly what she's gonna tell you guys. And you, if you follow her, you probably know that. So where can you drill in if you've been around for a while and really drill it down to what do you want to be about? And be consistent with that. And then when these sales do pop up, you can offer it. to them, but they know exactly what you're about. And I think that that's been key for you guys so much is you've been repetitive. It's over and over and over, and you've got your own results. Not only do you share other people's results, which are great, you guys, it shows that it's everybody's different body, ages, sizes, backgrounds, everything. But if you can get your own, and you're going to hear again every week, probably the same thing. Like, if you can share your own testimony, what that is for you, it's building up even more trust. I see Shara on here. I feel like she's kind of come into her own of like owning it. So, what does that look like? And maybe you're in a different season where you're like, okay, I want to be this. And Joel keeps telling me this too, because I'm like, I feel like I just need to shift a little bit because I feel like I've been around, but I was like, I really want to rock being in my 50s, right? And so there's nothing wrong with that because I'm going to attract plenty of people with that. So what's kind of your niche of what you want to be about, right? And so I think that was great that you shared that. But again, video content. So you said TikTok, you do everything there. So do you tell them to go over to Instagram? So walk people through that are like, okay, I'm just getting started on TikTok. They see it, but now what?
Yeah, so whenever people comment on my TikTok, this kind of changes day to day. I've actually, it's funny we're having this like Zoom because I've run into the issue of like I'll comment back to people, but the comment isn't showing up for them, even though it's showing up for me. And so I'm having to reword my comments and like do things a little bit different. So right now, I'm like actually physically messaging people on TikTok. If someone like comments on a product reel or a business reel, I'm going to comment back. I'm going to say, hey, messaging you because that's been like showing up. And then I will physically DM them on TikTok, or I will just have them, I'll say, hey, I'm not able to message you. Would you be able to message me the word results here on TikTok? And they can message me. They'll go into like my message requests on TikTok. I love doing this, but it just, my comments haven't been showing up, so I haven't been able to. But what I like to do is I like to send everyone to my Instagram. It's kind of like, I know back in the day, they talked about this a lot with Facebook of like, if you meet someone, immediately add them on Facebook. That way they're seeing you, they're seeing you, they're seeing you. And so I usually do that for Instagram. So that's what I'm going to talk about here. But as soon as someone comments on a business reel or a product reel or a business TikTok or a product TikTok, I will comment back, hey, I'm so excited. My DMs on here are full, talking about TikTok. Could you message me the word results on Insta or IG? I don't put Instagram because TikTok will block that, but I put my like at name, jessica.renee.1. And I get a ton of messages from TikTok, biz results from that. So it's growing my Instagram, it's growing my TikTok, and I have all of my conversations on Instagram. Another thing that I have, a lot of people may have it as well, is I have tap link. So they can tap the link in my bio and they can click a folder and it immediately goes to their text messages and they can shoot me a pre-made text. Hey Jess, I saw your post about gut health and weight loss. Could I have more info? And I'm able to like text with them and talk with them over text message. So it's a little bit messy in that way, but I really love sending people to my Instagram because once they do that, they're following me. Once they even message me, guess what? I'm going to start showing up in their feed, in their explore feed, in their reels tab on Instagram, simply because they interacted with my profile on Instagram. So I like to do that and really just have all of my conversations there or over on text. But I'm going to talk about too, like once I post a video on TikTok, like I said, it automatically saves to my Instagram or to my camera roll with no watermark. So I go into my Instagram app, I post the reel, same caption, and I literally just post it on my Instagram. And then I do the same thing for Facebook. I take that same video that's saved to my camera roll that I literally just made on TikTok and posted, and I post that to my Facebook reels as well. Same caption, same everything. So I'm killing three birds with literally one stone.
You guys, and if you listened last week with Brooklyn's her little like how she uses the flag and the general and all the inbox. If you didn't watch that Zoom, watch it last week because a lot of the same things. So again, kind of have your system. That's the one thing I do like about Facebook is I can have it's a little bit easier, but things are more visible right now, utilizing videos and TikTok being the Wild West of being able to post it and then getting them over. So make sure you guys kind of understand that. And then if you have to go on these leaders when just like, oh, they can click on my tap link, Jess will drop her Instagram handle here in the chat. I'll have her do that. But then you guys can go and click on it and see what she's talking about and create your own tap link. I love most influencers, you guys have something that you can click on and look at to see what's going on. So, make sure that if you're hearing these things, take the time to do it. Don't just think about it, but apply what's being said. That's the difference. Me and Joel have been talking about this. People that have success, they apply it. They don't just get on Zoom and get on Zoom to say I'm productive. Like Joel had a whole thing. He was like, "Oh, you have Jess on tonight. Okay." Like he had this whole Zoom
And
thing.
I had a whole train that was
Fire.
below your guys' minds, but
And
I'm
we
out.
will, but he didn't know I had my series going, so it's fine. But that is so important, having your own follow-up. Like, what is it gonna be? Especially at the beginning, you may not have a bazillion yet, but then when you do get something viral, wow, what about, having 100 messages and all those following up as you're growing even more? Um, I know I was gonna ask you this too. So, you do host a post through Instagram. Do you teach your team to do that? It's kind of the same slide that you showed. I'm sure I see the same one anyway.
Yeah. I teach my team Instagram host posts. I teach them all Facebook host posts first because once you understand Facebook host posts, I feel like Facebook host post is like super simple, but also a little bit complicated with some of the things that you have to do. So as soon as they can get that down, like that's the basis of it. I'm like, okay, now we're gonna apply this to TikTok and Instagram. And it's basically the same thing. Instead of putting up a post on their Facebook, they just put up a story. And so it's super easy to teach. And that's something that I teach my team right off the bat. That's like one of the first things that I teach them right out of the gates because they can post a giveaway TikTok and get 100 comments, and there's 100 people that's going to post for them or could potentially post for them. So it's really good in the beginning. It's really good to grow your account. It's really good to grow your Instagram, your TikTok, all of those things, and to kind of get into conversations and start planting those seeds with people. So I do that, and I do teach my team that right off the bat.
I'll drop you guys. You probably have seen it. The slides, kind of like what Brooklyn did last week. We'll kind of share the same. It's the same slide, you guys. So whatever that, kind of is, it's the same thing with host to post. It's pretty much the 3 or 4 products that everybody does. Again, being consistent, repetitive, duplicatable, right? We want the same thing kind of over and over. So we'll get that in there. But how many, uh, I guess, people see your Instagram and they're like, oh my gosh, it looks really good. How long does it take? But how many post stories, reels do you have a system that you have daily that you could kind of walk us through?
Yeah, I definitely have a system. When it comes to stories, I'm uber consistent. I'm posting normal stuff, but I'm also posting business related stuff, whether that's about the products or the opportunity. So, first thing when I wake up in the morning, I like to post something like normal, but immediately, like in the morning, I'm posting about my coffee. I'm sharing results. I'm sharing testimonies every single day. Like, I think I've probably posted the coffee in the morning on my story every single day since I joined 6.5 years ago. Like I can go to my Instagram, in the archive it gives you like a calendar and you can see bubbles of like what I guarantee I can go through, and there's every single day I've posted the copy. So it's repetitive, but guess what? People know that I'm here. They know that I have a healthy alternative to coffee. In fact, just last night I signed a customer that I talked to. I reached out to her in 2019 and she reached out, she ignored me. And then she reached out again in 2020. And then she reached out again in 2022. And then she reached out in 2024. And then she slid up on a story yesterday and she bought the a GLP-1 duo. And then she also was like, well, I really want that coffee too because you post about it. She's been seeing me post about it for 6 years now. So I post something normal, whether it's the sunrise, my dog, my Bible, my devotional, whatever. I like to post that. And then I go into my morning trio, my coffee, aloe, and flat, post that. And then throughout the day, I might post like normal things, like once again, my dogs, my lunch, palm trees, the beach, whatever, like sharing something. And then in the evening, afternoon, I like to share something business related. And then I would say like probably every couple of days I might share another product. So like Timeless, or I'll share like our collagen or our hair care because I have really great results from that. And so I don't do two products on my stories every single day, but I do like my go-to, which is my trio, and I do the business every single day on my stories in between normal posts. And you may look at my story and think, oh my God, this girl is doing a million things every single day. I can promise you that 90% of the normal stories that I post, and sometimes, like most of the time, even the product stories are old. They're stories that pictures I've taken weeks ago or days ago or sometimes a year ago. And my stories, same thing. Like I could make a story this morning and post it, and then in 3 weeks, I'm going to post it again because guess who's going to know other than me?
Mhm.
Nobody. Like maybe my team because I put it in our shared album, but that's it. And so I'm doing that. And then when it comes to my video content, I post 2 a day. I post something business related, either a product or the opportunity. And then I post something normal every single day. That is my go-to. Some days it's really easy. Some days it's really hard. The more consistent you are, like when I say hard, I mean if I have a busy day, but I have been so consistent that if I have like a busy stretch or busy like when we go to Cabo, if I'm a little bit busier on our travel day, well guess what? I've been so consistent for the last 3-4 years. I can go find a video that I posted 6 months ago and repost it and nobody's gonna know. It's gonna be like a brand new video to everyone who's seeing it. And so I have kind of like an archive of videos that I can post if I have a busy day, but I also batch content. So like on the weekends, or if you have a day off and you get yourself ready and go in front of your camera and just film a ton. I could probably pull up my TikTok, but there's days where I'll like film a ton of different things and I'm in the same outfit. Like for example, like this was all in one day. I filmed it before church. Like I had like 10 minutes. This was another day. I'm all in the same outfit. And so I posted one then. I can post one tonight and you don't know that I filmed that, 2-3 weeks ago. And I have that like all through my TikTok drafts. Like here's other ones. I filmed a bunch of them here. So it's just a bunch of like batched content for the days where I didn't put makeup on, or the days that I didn't get off the couch, or the days that it's rainy outside and I don't have good lighting, or the days that I have a travel day to Cabo. So I'm doing 2 a day, no excuses. Like I said, if I would have had this when I first started, I could guarantee my business would have looked drastically different. But God was like, no, you're not ready for it yet, and neither is the world. But I wish I would have had this because I would have taken full advantage of it. Video content is perfect for busy people. When I joined 6.5 years ago, I had 2 full-time jobs, 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. And in between that, I had to manually, which I still do to this day, follow. I had to manually message. I had to do all of these things to generate leads, whereas video content is going to generate it for you just by spending 10 to 30 minutes a day on making 2 videos. Like, why would you not? So that's my
Okay.
system with that.
Yeah, you guys hear that. Like, I think that's what people think it takes hours because we're in our head scared and it's not going to look right. It's not going to look like Jess, and that's okay. Joel's looking at me. I'm doing a lot better job with videos. I really am. So, you just got to do it. And it feels awkward at first, but I love watching people make their coffee. You walk to open up your blinds. I'm like, what is this weird? Why do we watch this? I'm like, I can't scroll. I gotta scroll. Get off. I gotta just do that. So people are watching that. So, challenge yourself to just put up your video. You guys learned last week, put it on the back camera, 0.5. I'm like having to describe it. I'm proud that I know. And Courtney is on here. I see her and she's like, what's this 0.5? And I was like, oh, it's this. And so I had to show examples, but I was like, just do that. Then it captures everything, right? And so you guys all have a product that you're taking in the morning or at night or whatever that is, or your film going into Costco. Costco has new stuff. Like put stuff on there and you can get followers that way. So that is honestly so key. And this is really, you're going to hear this drilling home video, video, video. We're always going to do host to post because that's where I still get customers, but let's grow the eyes that see it. And the best way to do that, and you may not even realize how many people actually see your videos.
Guys, here's the thing. You have all sorts of videos in your phone that you can be posting. And I know what you're thinking to yourself. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't post that. I posted that 3 months ago.
Hmm.
and yet you're struggling to get up 3 posts a week.
Mhm.
Recycling isn't lazy, it's marketing. Here's the number. 80% of the people that follow you didn't see that when you posted it. They don't even know it exists still. So what if it was 3 months ago? So what if it was 3 weeks ago? They're not going to scroll through your feed to see if you already posted that.
Mhm.
So keep posting. You'll have content as long as you're making new content, but also recycling stuff that you're thinking people already saw.
Here's something. If you're gonna go onto my Instagram and look at some of these videos, you're gonna see some old video clips of me on the early days, and I wish I had more of those just cringy looking videos. I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I did that." But that's what now people are looking at. Like, again, they see the now and they don't see the behind the scenes of like what it takes getting there. So I would love for you guys to know that if I could just tell myself back in the day, what would I do different? Usually nothing. Usually I'm like, there's a lot of things. It would be take more video content. Even if you don't think you're going to use it, you may look back and some social person comes in and is like, "Ooh, I want to grab this and use this. This is something that we can incorporate into your business." People want to see that before, and they want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see your life. So, I'm going to continue to challenge you every single week. Film yourself. Do it 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a couple times a week, whatever that takes for you guys to get out of your comfort zone, and it'll continue to get better. Jess, I know we went over a little bit. I don't even know if we got through all our questions. You guys, drop a 2 if this is really good, because I think it's always so helpful, to be able to just hear from different people because she's a top enroller, top earner, presidential diamond. She does all the things. She practices what she preaches. She's not just telling you what to do, she's actually doing it and having the success. But is there any last minute, like, a tip, an aha that you just feel like, "This is something, if you wanna make $100 this week, do this."
Yeah, I think honestly, just going and doing it while you're sat on your couch, talking yourself out of it or overthinking it. There's a girl down the street or on the other side of this Zoom who's already done 3 of it without even thinking and just doing. And she's going to see success from it while you're still sat on your couch overthinking it. And that's what kind of like gets me going every single day, especially when I'm like overthinking it, whether it's like sometimes I'll overthink my Facebook post, like, oh, is this going to be good enough? Where there's another girl and it works who's already put up 2, and then now she's onto her video content, and I'm still seeing if I should, what wording I should use on this Facebook post, even though I already have it all typed out. Like, you're wasting time by overthinking, and like time is money, like time, so why are you wasting it? Just do it, like do it, and like close your eyes when you press post, like just do it and then like get off of it and go do something else if you have to, but just do it, because there's someone out there, like even if it's not just video content, but I think stories, like, oh, this story isn't aesthetic enough, like it's never going to be aesthetic enough if you just sit there and look at it. You're just wasting time. Whereas a girl maybe posted one that's less aesthetic, and you know what, she's getting more from it because she did it and you still haven't done it. So how bad do you want it? How bad do you want that $100? How bad do you want that small, simple goal? Maybe getting your nails done or your hair done. How bad do you want to pay off that house? How bad do you want to get that new car? How bad do you want to be at home with your kids? How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to just go do it, even if it's not perfect? Because at the end of the day, done is better than perfect. You could sit there trying to make it perfect, but for me, it's going to be done. And I'm actually going to get results because it's done, where you're sitting there still trying to get it perfect and you haven't done anything. And so just go do it. The video content, the host to post, your task list, the stories, the talking on your story, going live, just go do it. It's literally that simple, because God's going to bless the work of your hands. But are you giving him work to bless? Or are you just sitting there thinking about the work? Because thinking about it doesn't make you money, doing it does.
I love that. I wish we could just steal Nike's "Just Do It." Like, they nailed it with that. Just do it. Like, that's what we think, right? We're thinking that to ourselves. Stephanie Dunn, just get it done and just do it. And when these newbies come in and you're giving them, we give you all of the tools, you guys, everything you need to be successful. You just got to do it. So I love that you ended on that, you guys, because you have archives of videos and training at your fingertips. It's a matter of, okay, I'm just going to do it and not worry about it. And it's going to hit the right people. So Jess, I love you. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm going to get some social content with you. Hopefully in a few weeks, you guys, we will actually be moving in and you'll see some content creation down in Florida. So I can't wait for that. But thanks, Jess, for always hopping on. We always appreciate you guys. Another good one coming again next week, Monday, you guys. Utilize this 20% off. I love this. This is one that always draws in people. Great follow-up, especially mid-month, going after those $100 executive rubies, emeralds, whatever that's pushing for. Super excited for that. And Joel's going to close us out in prayer, and we will see you Monday.
Perfect. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this amazing group of world changers. I just ask that you bless them this week. Multiply everything that they put their hands to. Like Jessica said, she said, when you bless things, it's because they do the things that you're able to bless. So help them to go out and do the things so that you can multiply it. You can multiply their influence and their impact over this week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. Have a great week. Thanks,
See you
guys.
guys.
See ya.
Thanks.